I'm 24 years old and I've been training MMA for the past 3 years. I love it and easily train in excess of 15 hours per week. As a result, my body is lean, I feel strong and training is going great. In fact, I just won my first amateur fight with ease. Recently, one of my coaches at my gym called me out for my bad eating habits. He said I eat too much crap, and if I'm going to take this thing seriously, I need to clean up my diet. My question is, does it really matter if I feel good and I'm performing great? Is nutrition really that important, or does it get exaggerated? Thanks for the question, dude. And as always, any of you looking to submit questions either via our Instagram link below or just drop it down in the comments. Let's start with this. If you feel good, if your training's going good, your body feels good, and there's no real reason in your mind why anything needs to change, then trust in your own instincts. Go with yourself. It's absolutely fine to do that. I'll give you a parallel to consider. I recently became a first-time parent, and it's fascinating how many people, as you go through that, have their little bit of advice for you, whether it be how to get them to sleep, or what they should eat, or what they should do, what they shouldn't do. Everyone's very quick to dish out their professional advice as experienced parents. But the real reality of it is every child is different, every parent is different, every situation is different. And although some of the advice might be great, it might not work for me in my specific circumstance. And that can be the same for you with this and with a whole bunch of other elements of training. But before you wrap this up and go, well, he said that I'm fine, so I'm fine, here's a couple of things to consider why you might want to try and make some changes. The first thing is, as good as you feel and as good as you are performing, could you be better? Is there a chance that you've got this untapped potential, and by cleaning up your nutrition, you're going to be able to have access to 10% even better performance than what you currently have? Now, 10% is a lot. All right, let's be a bit more conservative and let's say 5%. Let's say cleaning up your nutrition, eating clean, eating lean, would give you a 5% increase in performance. That's 5% that you're just leaving on the table for the choice to eat crap. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, 5% isn't a lot, but what if we paired that with really solid hydration, making sure you're hydrated all the time, and paired that with really good sleep, and paired that with a really good recovery program, including massage, cryotherapy, whatever. And let's say each of these elements gets you 5%. Well, now we're talking 20%. Now I appreciate these are just numbers and we don't really quantify it as this is 5%, this is 10%, but you can see how all those little changes would certainly add up to something pretty significant. You should be able to see a marketable improvement in things. And when you look at these athletes who take things professionally, get into a gym, the majority of them are eating clean, working on their recovery, and of course focused in on their training. So at the highest levels of sport, these little percentage differences start to really matter. Now, you're amateur level, you're new, you're super confident, and very importantly, you're young. So for you at your current state, you probably don't see that there's a significant need to make any changes. You're winning, everything's going great, you feel great. Once you start climbing up that ladder, and what your coach is probably doing is preparing you for what's to come, not based off of what your performance is like now. He's not saying that your performance the other night at your fight wasn't good or that your performance in the gym isn't good. He's just seasoned enough to know that it only gets more difficult and every little advantage you can take is going to count. With that being said, let's talk a little bit more about your coach's intentions and why they're probably coming at you. And you might be kind of getting a bit defensive, which is understandable. You're winning your fights, like you said, you're in great shape, you're training hard, you're doing everything right in terms of in the gym. So why is he giving you a hard time about your nutrition? Here's the thing to remember about coaches. Generally speaking, coaches are older. And whether they were a previous fighter or a full-time coach, they've been there and done that. They've seen it, and they've seen it go really well, and they've seen it go not so well. They have an experience with what it is to deal with a fighter that looks after their nutrition, and they've probably got experience of what it's like to deal with a fighter that's got bad nutrition. So what he's trying to do, as most people in a mentor position are, they're trying to feed you their experience to help you to avoid the mistakes that themselves or others have made previously. The other thing that comes with being older as a coach is you've already started to experience what it's like for your body to slowly slow down. You said you were 24, let's say, just a wild guess, your coach is 44, got 20 years on you. Your body will drastically change from 24 to 44. And we all like to think in our 20s, that won't be me. I'm gonna stay in great shape. I'm gonna keep everything up. It's really not got anything to do with you. You don't really have a choice. Your body is going to slow down, including your metabolism, and things like injuries start to creep in. The responsibilities of life grow on you. You have less time for yourself. You have less time for training. You have less energy. I'm not making excuses for why people get out of shape. This is just a reality of life, and it's part of the reason, as well as just the simple biodegradation of our body over time, that these things get harder. Here's the most difficult part of it for you is if you've got a habit of always eating crap, that habit is really difficult to break. And if you're gonna keep that habit for another 10 plus years, that's a very deeply ingrained part of who you are. So when life does start to pressure you, when you do break an ankle, when you do have kids, when your body and metabolism start to slow down, that crap diet of yours is gonna start to cost you. It's then you're gonna start feeling the impacts of it. And your coach probably understands that. And what he wants for you is to get it under control whilst you're young, to build the habit of having good, healthy nutrition so that later on in life you can lean on that good nutrition when your body isn't playing along the way it should be. This is the big reason you see so many ex-fighters or ex-athletes get in terrible shape once their careers have ended. Of course, they're burning less calories than they used to. They might even still be training, but by no means, like you said, 15 hours, that's 2 sessions a day for most days, maybe a little bit more. That's a lot of physical training added onto your normal day. That burns a lot of calories. And if you take that down to a 45-minute gym session to just stay in shape, but you're eating the same amount of calories that you were when you were training like that, you can't out-train a bad diet at that point. You are going to gain weight, you are going to put on body fat, and also you're going to just start feeling like crap. The final point to consider, I guess, is like your coach said, it's if you want to take this seriously. As in, are you trying to become the UFC champion of the world? In which case, you're probably going to need to take this seriously, because again, once we get to that top level of competition, once we're at the point where the differences between the top 5 guys become so minute, each guy can beat each guy on any given night, well, at that point, these little differences like, do you look out for your nutrition? Do you stay well hydrated? Do you recover well? These start to be the thing that make the difference. And the other thing is to do with the weight cut. Most people are familiar with the fact that fighters cut weight before a fight. But what a lot of people don't realize is that there are stages to that weight cut. And the first thing is being able to lose some of your weight through a good diet, through healthy nutrition. And the better you do with that, the easier it is to then do the water cut, which is cutting off that final bit of weight before the fight takes place. But again, you need to establish a healthy, balanced nutrition diet, and you have to be good at that, and it takes a discipline. It takes a practice to be able to do that day in, day out. At the end of the day, I think your coach is just looking out for you. He obviously can't make you do any of this. The choice is on you, and we can all sit and rationalize any of our own behaviors for how it fits into our lifestyle. The question you need to ask yourself is, how bad do you really want it? What do you really want from it? And how much are you willing to balance that off of eating crap? That's for you to answer. I just thought I'd give you some things to think about. Guys, if this video has been helpful, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We've got new videos coming every week, and I will see you on the next one.